Have you ever felt like your life was just not on the right path? It wasn't what you wanted, or you were having a hard time getting it going? Listen, I feel you. I was exactly in the same place. I knew I needed to make a change, and I want to tell you exactly what I did.
What would your life be like if you were finally able to unlock the key to manifesting the life of your dreams? If you're ready to transform your life by mastering the art of manifestation, then stay tuned. The Manifestation Society Show with Allison Carver is just for you.
Welcome to the Manifestation Society Show with Allison Carver, where every week we showcase the most brilliant female powerhouses and their amazing manifestation stories. This talk show is meant to inspire you, to show you that you can do this too. You can leverage the power of manifestation to help you live your best life. I'm your host, Allison Carver. Before I introduce today's guest, I want to share with you the affirmation of today. The affirmation of the day is, I am open and ready to accept my dreams as my reality. I love using affirmations because they help your mind get on board and say, yeah, that's right. I am open and ready to receive. I am wealthy. I am. Always use your affirmations in that I am format to make sure that your mind is ready and pumped and primed to agree with you. Be sure to stay tuned for the very end of the episode because we have a very special surprise giveaway. Today, I have the amazing Michelle Braswell. She has been in the events industry for over 20 years. Please help me welcome Michelle to the Manifestation Society Show.
Thank you so much, Allison, for having me on. I'm just so honored to be here with you today.
We are so excited to have you here. Michelle, tell us, how are you doing today?
I am amazing, just like you said. It's just so lovely to be here. I'm so proud of you and your show. It's just really exciting to be here with you.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so we're going to talk about all the manifestation things, right? And I love having you as a guest because your industry is very different, right? Like you're in the wedding space, but I love how you still incorporate manifestation into your life and into your business. So I would love for you to share one of your favorite manifestation stories from your personal life, and then we'll go into the business side. How's that sound?
That's perfect. I do have a manifestation story for you that has nothing to do with the wedding industry. I thought that would be kind of fun. So how we got started was my husband and I got married, and then we immediately were transferred to a new city. And we had all these dreams, but it wasn't time for us to really do anything yet because we were still getting adjusted and we were very young. And we really wanted to have an investment property company. We wanted rental property in our future. So to get that started, we set up an LLC. We gave it a business name. We even went to the bank and opened a checking account. And I just remember sitting with that checkbook and being like, who do we think we are to have this business set up, but there's nothing going on with it yet? And then things have evolved and we have purchased rental property and we've bought and sold some investment properties. And we still have some rental property today as part of our retirement plan. And it's just really fun to look back on that and go back and see how everything manifested itself, and just having the faith that that was going to happen. Looking back on is just amazing.
Michelle, I love this so much because you basically got everything that you both intended to get. How did you know to do this? How did you even know?
It's really just a one step at a time that we try to take on. And I always believe that if you've been given something on your heart that you want to do, or that, all of a sudden we're like, we really want to have an investment company, or we want to have rental properties whenever we work toward retirement. So you just got to take the first step. And that's the only way to know if it's what you're meant to be doing or not.
That's exactly right. And just having that faith to take this step, no matter how scary it might feel or how overwhelming, you just had that faith, right? And you knew that this was what was meant for you. I love that so much. So can you tell us, what are some of your favorite manifestation tricks or things you do every day now?
Well, one of the things that I do every day, I have a morning routine and it includes affirmations. And I just really love that you have that incorporated with your show because that is a huge part of my life. Just giving yourself affirmations that everything is going correctly and that you can take on anything is a huge part of every day of my life.
You know, affirmations are actually where I started with my whole manifestation journey, because for me, my headspace was not in a good place. Every day I would wake up and I would feel stressed and overwhelmed and exhausted. And I was just repeating those things like in my head, like, I'm so tired. I have no energy. Things are so stressful, right? But as soon as I learned like, oh, I can change those thoughts. I can come downstairs and have a different perspective when I start my day. That was a game changer. And I accredit affirmations 100%, right? Like they're amazing.
Absolutely. It changes everything because whatever you're telling yourself is what is going to happen. And that's a whole part of the manifestation process.
So Michelle, can you tell us a little bit now what you're doing? Like what kind of business you're in now?
I'm still in the wedding industry and I love every minute of it because what's better than being part of a couple's best day ever? But I am in it all online now. We were able to sell our full service wedding venues in 2020. And now I teach wedding vendors how to connect with other vendors and how to keep their calendars booked up online, all online. And I love every second of it.
Do you give them tips on how to use affirmations in their business or how to use this? Because I bet some of them aren't familiar with all of this spiritual stuff, right?
I do. And it's part of my favorite thing about it. I have a couple different programs, and in every one of my programs, I teach affirmations first. And I don't really go all the way into affirmations and manifestation and those kind of things because it is a bite-sized thing and it's kind of like taking baby steps into that. But affirmations are so important that it's the foundation of where we start all of our programs.
Do you have examples or have you had any clients tell you these affirmations have been a game changer for my business?
Yeah, I actually had a situation this week where that happened. I had a brand new student and I was on a coaching call with her and we were on video and she was talking about how things have changed. She got into the wedding industry about 10 years ago and she had her kids and she's kind of transitioned a little bit to where she's back in it now. And she was just talking about how the online space has really changed wedding planning. She's a planner and that she just really kind of had lost confidence in herself and that she wasn't sure what direction she should be going. So we talked through the things and I gave her some things to work on business wise. And then before we got off the call, I told her that I had another piece of homework for her. And I actually have a podcast, and the podcast episode where I do all affirmations dropped that day. So I'm like, first thing you need to do is go listen to this podcast episode. It's only 5 minutes long, but it's filled with all kinds of different affirmation examples. And so I'm like, listen to that. Don't start anything else until you listen to the affirmations, because I just knew that she needed a little confidence boost and that she could do the rest of it. It's not just the affirmations and knowing that. It's the affirmations are just a springboard to taking action, and then that action giving you even more confidence. So it just is a full circle.
Oh, I love that so much. It's like the perfect example, right? Like of her being down and needing that little boost and then just repeating these I am affirmations. That's incredible. You know, as you were talking, it got me thinking, I bet during this day and age, like this time, like with the whole pandemic and events being canceled, I bet for your students, a lot of their confidence is down. I bet a lot of them are worried about income or, you know, what are they going to do about like if their events keep getting canceled? And so what a great tool you're giving your students.
Yeah, I just know what it has done for me in my life. It just really is so important. And in the wedding industry, often we have a down season anyway, or off season where things kind of slow down and you do lose your confidence, and then they pick back up. And then as people are booking, you're like, yeah, I'm in demand. And you kind of feel that just business wise, but those off seasons. And then we had the pandemic, which was like a giant off season. And we're all still hoping that things keep progressing and then it's open, and just tiny little confidence boosts are life changing.
Do you ever share the story of what you did with your husband about the whole, like, we're going to open a business and we're going to do this checking account? Do you ever share that with your students? Because I bet they'd be so inspired that, like, you didn't even know what it was going to look like. You didn't know what the business was going to be, but you knew for a fact you were going to have a business.
I don't. I actually have never told that story before. Before I was going to come on here, I talked to my husband and I'm like, you know, we have this faith and we have really just confidence and faith that what we're given to do is on the right path, whether we need to pivot that or whether we need to evolve it a little bit. You have to do those things too. It's not always easy, but I was talking to him, I'm like, we kind of have all these little stories. What do you think would be fun for me to talk about? And he's like, I don't know. And I'm like, how do we start this? You get to a point and you're just like, wait a minute, what are we doing? And how do we even start it? So I really appreciate being given the opportunity to even think about the story, because I was talking to him, like, I just remember holding that checkbook with our business name on it, and I had completely forgotten about it. It was 25 years ago, and I absolutely forgot about it. So maybe it would be fun to tell my students, when it's your story, you kind of don't know if it's a big deal or not until it kind of comes out.
You should absolutely share this story. I mean, it inspires me. I love that 20 years ago, you guys knew to do this. And I just think you should totally share this story with your students.
I think I will now that you said that, and hopefully they'll tune into the show and we'll just talk about it again.
So I wanted to ask you too, like, I know you offer courses and you've got a whole online education system, and I know that you teach this to your students. Can you share with us a little bit about your process of how you help your students know that they're on the right path and to trust that gut and that faith and know that this is what they're meant to do?
Most of what I teach is the marketing side and the networking and the filling your calendar and attracting all your ideal clients. But we also definitely sprinkle in things that do give you confidence. And we talk about decision making a lot and how to know when you need to make a decision that that's the right thing to do. Because a lot of times it's just making the decision that's the paralysis.
I love that. And if they use the decision making combined with affirmations, they're good to go, right? They've got the confidence. They know what they're doing. There's nothing but straight ahead.
It's the whole one foot in front of another that really does get them the results. And it's the whole transformation that makes their business move forward, that makes their personal life move forward. And it's just a very rewarding experience for me personally.
Speaking of moving forward and making this really easy, what would you say would be a really simple affirmation that our audience could use today to get them to boost their confidence and to get going?
The one that I'm using right now is, my goals are 100% possible. And I want them to know that. And it just gives you the strength. Even if you say that 10 or 20 times, take 5 minutes, say that my goals are 100% possible. It gives you the strength to almost be dangerous. It's just a very powerful thing to put into your mind first thing in the morning.
I'm actually going to borrow that one from you and use that myself, because what a great way to get yourself in the right headspace, right? That is a powerful affirmation. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you. I'm so honored for you to take that, because you are the queen of affirmations for sure.
Michelle, we covered so much today. Thank you so much for being with us. And hey, before we go, remember we had that little surprise giveaway gift that we mentioned at the beginning of the episode. Do you want to share with our audience what that is?
I do. So it is a downloadable printable list of affirmations that you can use in your morning routine, and just choose one or choose to do all of them. There's just a handful of them, but really do take one and repeat it over and over to yourself. But it's completely free, as downloadable printable affirmations list for you.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Michelle, for putting that together and making that available. Oh, make sure you guys grab that list from her. And like she said, you're going to want to repeat these affirmations, right? Like a couple times a day. You can do it in the morning. You can do it in the evening, right? It doesn't matter, right, Michelle? You're going to repeat these affirmations whenever.
Right. I love to just put a sticker on your mirror or anything that you see, or even your screensaver on your phone is a great place to keep it.
Yes, what a great tip that is, because how many times are we looking at our phones? Oh, let me look at this email, or let me look at this text. Like, what a great little, that's a perfect little tip you just gave us. Put that affirmation on your phone so that when you pick it up, you're immediately triggered to think, oh, that's right. I am powerful. I am worthy. I am enough. Right? Thank you, Michelle, so much for being with us today and for sharing all these amazing tips. And thank you for making the list available of all the affirmations. I know that they're going to be so meaningful.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so much fun. I appreciate it.
Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next week for another episode of the Manifestation Society show. Catch me on Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. I'm Allison Carver, and I'll see you next week.